Greetings and salutations, guys. So, let's do story time tonight. I have gotten some of my books from my grandfather, and let's see. We have Pennsylvania Dutch Folklore. This is just a couple. We have Superstitions of the Pennsylvania Dutch. We have Hexery. This is a really rare book. Really, really rare. This is a practice of witchcraft amongst the Pennsylvania Dutch. And this one, I am in love with. This one has some great stuff. And it just is just like really cool stuff. Funny stories. And so let's have story time. We're going to have Powwow, Pennsylvania Dutch. Story time tonight. Okay. Our first one is Tall Tales. This is one of my favorites. The Berks County Fog. Berks County is not too far away from where I grew up. So this stuff's funny. It's near Morgantown, which is like maybe an hour away from where I grew up in the mountain. Okay, so the Berks County Fog. The fog was so bad near Morgantown, Pennsylvania one morning that I had to abandon my car and continue on foot. In a nearby field, I noticed an ingenious Amish farmer cutting the fog with a scythe, then shoveling it aside to make a clear path to his barn. Soon a car came down the road at a rapid pace. I called to him to stop and asked the driver if he realized how dangerous it is for him to drive so fast when he couldn't see more than 6 inches in front of his face. I said, "You might kill yourself." The driver said, "Didn't you see the front of our car?" Looking, I saw a snowplow attached to the bumper. He said this V-shaped plow cuts the fog in two and pushes it to the side of the road. We Dutchmen here in Berks County don't allow a little fog to get us down. These, you guys can skip this video. I'm just having such giggles over these stories because they come from right where I grew up. This one's from Lancaster County, which again, that's total Amish country, and that's only maybe 25 minutes away from where I grew up. So this one's called the Lancaster County Fog. One morning in late October, while driving across the Conestoga Creek on my way to work, some object hit my windshield with a heavy thud. After stopping the car to investigate, a large fish was lying on the hood of the car. Then I noticed some catfish and perch and suckers swimming through the air, 2 or 3 feet above the surface of the creek. I gathered a large number of them up and placed them in the car for a fresh fish supper. The fog was so thick that morning that the fish just swam right from the water into the fog and didn't know the difference. I don't know if you guys have ever driven through mountains in fog. I did it my entire life. In fact, deer are plentiful in the Blue Mountain on the Appalachian Trail, and my grandmother was notorious for hitting deer with her car. My mother hit a few too. I have never hit a deer, ever, because I can spot them really well. But we actually, in Pennsylvania, we have these things called deer whistles, and you put them on the front of your bumper on your car, and they supposedly make a whistling sound as you drive to scare the deer away. Because the fog's so bad, and the deer just jump out in front of you. This is another story I really enjoyed. This one's called A Master Farmer. Because a farmer was experimenting with different kinds of fertilizer, he put broomstick handles in the ground at each spot where he used a different kind of fertilizer in order to mark the places differently. Although the experiment did not prove conclusive to the improvement of various crops, he was amazed to find that 2 broomsticks had yielded several large ears of corn. Another broomstick developed into a healthy potato vine, and still 2 others sprouted new brooms. These are tales. I mean, they're basically tall tales, superstitions, but they're passed on, you know, like urban legends, you know, around where I grew up and stuff. There are some great stories in here. Wow, I just stumbled upon a healing for rheumatism. That's pretty cool. To cure rheumatism, wash the part of the body afflicted in water in which potatoes have been boiled. Pretty nifty. And like I said in previous videos, powwow is very much kind of along the same lines as hoodoo. They're both very simplistic, old-timey, you know, kind of stuff, folk magic. They're both highly religious, but where hoodoo relies mostly on the King James Bible and the use of Psalms, powwow highly relies on the Old Testament and the 7 books of Moses. That's pretty much the only difference and like I said previously, in powwow, hexery is highly forbidden. You do not hexery in powwow. Let's see. Here's a story called Drier Than Dry. Going without rain for more than 6 weeks, the Deutsch farmer complained to his neighbor how dry it was and how badly they needed a good rainfall. The neighbor, not to be outdone, answered, "Aye, the soil lacks a good day's rain for being dry." A lot of you probably aren't going to understand a lot of these, but, because, I mean, it's Pennsylvania Dutch, but they're just funny. They're just funny. The Amishman that grew a beard. A tourist reported to have said to an Amishman, "I once grew a beard just like yours, but when I saw how horrible it looked, I shaved it off." The bearded Amishman replied, "I used to have a face like yours too, but when I saw how terrible it made me look, I grew a beard." Oh, here's another good one. The Amish Sugar Bowl. During World War II, when sugar and other products were rationed, the Amish, who do a great deal of canning and home preserving, were particularly hard hit. Caught in a dilemma between needing more sugar and at the same time with his religious tenets not to tell the falsehood to the Amishman, took more than 300 pounds of sugar he had on one hand and placed it on the kitchen table. At the sugar rationing board, he made a plea for more sugar by concluding, "We are low on sugar. All we have is on the table." These are just really, 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 really funny, entertaining kind of stories. Oh, here's a good one. The $32 itch. At the country auctions and public sales, many auctioneers accept almost any sign as a bid. Some Deutschmen scratch their ear as a bidding sign. Others raise their head or give a brief nod. One Amishman likes to tell of the time he bid on many items by merely scratching his ear. Finally, after he obtained all the things he was seeking, he stood at the fringe of the crowd talking to a friend. A mosquito bit him on the back of the right ear, and he acted naturally scratching at it, which he soon heard the auctioneer claim, sold to Zook for $32, the $32 itch. Oh, this one, I actually marked this one for you guys. Okay, so let's do some proverbs and sayings in Pennsylvania Deutsch Amish country. Now these, they're probably going to seem weird and awkward and backward to you guys, but a lot of these I heard growing up, actually. Okay, so he who feeds well churns well. An industrious wife is the best savings account. If you go barefoot, don't plant thorns. The rose is red, but its thorn is sharp. Children and fools tell the truth. Now that one, you could probably add drunks to that one. I always heard that one growing up. Children and drunks always tell the truth. Morning showers and old women's dancing don't last long. A wife that does not know how to keep house throws out more with 1 teaspoon than a man can bring in with a shovel. Short hair is quickly brushed. What one hasn't got in his head, he has to have on his feet. A loafer prefers killing himself. A loafer prefers killing himself, carrying a heavy load, than making a second trip. Now, my husband, he will load himself down till he can hobble across the yard and can't even have a free hand to open the door before he'll make a second trip to the car for bags. He who rides slowly gets just as far. It only takes a little longer. My grandfather, he used to say that all the time. There is not a pot so crooked that there isn't a lid to fit it. An honest hand goes a long way. He who digs a ditch for himself, he who digs a ditch for others falls in it himself. That's one I heard a lot too, growing up. Oh, let's see. I thought I marked. Well, here, how would you guys like, since planting season is coming up, I'm actually ordering my seeds in about a week and a half. I actually filled out my seed order, and I'll be starting the garden soon. I'm probably going to document it this year again. I'll be starting new stuff. I got a lot of new things I want to try this year. So, and everyone really enjoyed it last year with the garden. So, weather lore. If children are boisterous, rain is coming. Let's see. A mackerel sky, the wind will be high. Then bring in the grain. Close by, there is rain. If ears of corn burst, a mild winter will follow. If ears of corn are plump, a cold winter will follow. A thick husk on corn means a long, cold, hard winter ahead. If ears of corn protrude from the husk, the winter will be short and mild. If a rooster crows at 10 p.m., there will be rain before morning. If a rooster sits on top of the fence to crow, there will be rainstorm during the day. Early morning rain and old women's dances don't last long. Didn't we just read that one? If the hair on a dog becomes heavy during the fall of the year, one may expect a long winter. When women hang their legs out of bed while sleeping, it is a sign that the weather is warm enough to plant corn. These things are really cool. I don't know. I hope you guys are enjoying them. Whatever the weather is on the 5th day of the month, so it will be the rest of the month. Whatever the weather is like on the last Friday of the month, so it will be the following month. Apparently my battery is overheating for some reason. So we're going to do one more story. And then we're going to give a contest update. Okay, so real quick. This one's hilarious. A group of children were telling ghost stories after school, and some of the older children tried to frighten little Amos by coming up to him with a replica of a skeleton. Much surprised of the older boys, Amos didn't become frightened at all. When they asked him, Amos, why aren't you afraid of spooks and skeletons? Amos said, why, there ain't no such thing as a ghost, and a skeleton is nothing more than a stack of bones with the people scraped off. Okay, sorry I gotta cut this short, guys. But, okay, so contest update. For the free 2 bottles of reversing oil giveaway, my page is at 977 likes, so we have less than 25 likes to go. We have 23 likes to go, and the contest will go up, so get over to my page. The link is below the video on Facebook, Primitive Roots Appalachian Conjure, and give us a like so we can get that contest going. And yeah, don't forget to check out my website, primitiverootsconjure.com, for conjure oils, powders. I actually am making a new oil that's going to be released hopefully this week, and it's actually taken me 2 years to track down the ingredients for this oil. So this is going to be a good one. I'm really excited about this. I've been waiting 2 years to make this oil, tracking down the ingredients. I'm working on some new oil formularies as well. I am slowly getting the formulary for a love oil, which is interesting, and that's slowly coming to me. That one probably won't be ready till spring or summer, because some of the things that I need I can only get in the spring or summer out in the garden and stuff. But yeah, so go over there and like the page, and I hope you enjoyed story time. If everybody gives me some thumbs up and they liked it, maybe I'll read some more from some of the other books. I'll give you a couple tips and tricks that are in there. Still doing the Appalachian Superstition a day. I actually have more now that I got some books for my grandfather, and that'll do us. Like, subscribe, and share, guys. I hope you enjoyed.